we're back. So this is the before and after for Midsommar. Midsommar?
Yeah.
The Midsommar?
Yeah.
What is that?
Midsommar.
But what
like
is
the
it?
Midsommar Festival.
Oh, Midsommar Festival,
Yeah.
but it's Somar.
Somar, yeah.
Anyways,
I guess it's the Swedish.
Maybe.
It's set in Sweden, right?
I think so.
Anyway.
But they speak English.
What's happening? Danny.
I was so very sorry to hear about what happened.
I'm sorry.
I invited Danny to come to Sweden. You know what she's been going through.
Christian says you've got this special week planned.
It's sort of a crazy festival.
Directed by the, I forgot his name, but
Ari
the guy.
Aster.
Yes, that guy. Or her, actually, don't even know. The director of
You've
Hereditary.
seen, you've seen Hereditary. I haven't, so...
But you don't like horror in general. So
Yeah,
now we are
that's right.
accommodating you, as in
Yes.
watching a summer horror outside bright flick during the afternoon.
This is amazing.
So once you leave, it'll still be
This is
bright.
everything I've ever wanted from a horror movie. And I'm really interested to see, like, how do you pull off, because typically with a horror movie, right, it's like the darkness and nightfall obscures like the viewer's perception of things, which is how
That's true.
it plays into the horror.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see how the film works with that, or works without that, I should say. But like a horror movie, has it ever been?
I don't know.
It must have been done before, but like
Not this
the
bright.
full movie.
I feel like this is really bright.
Yeah, this
I
is
think
specifically-
it gives me a vibe of The Apostle. You watch Apostle?
No.
So that was like a thriller-esque. I wouldn't say it's horror because there's no ghost elements, but there's like cult elements in it. I think there were moments where it's like pretty bright, but it was still like daunting. I think there's that dauntingness. I think it'll be very interesting to watch this movie with someone who's never seen any of the trailers.
Okay. Well, I have. But
Yeah, so both of us have. So I think we're skewed, as in we're gonna know it's like something messed up and things are gonna go down.
And the other thing that I'm interested in, just as like, because I feel like in horror movies as a genre, you have a lot of directors who just kind of like come in, do their thing, and then they leave and they go make bigger movies.
Yeah.
But it seems like this director is now going to be like working in this genre.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this is like the beginning of like someone being an auteur, like being that type of filmmaker where they really put their stamp on the genre.
Yeah.
You've seen Hereditary. I haven't seen Hereditary yet, so I can't speak to that film. But I will
it's
watch
totally,
it.
I feel like it's night and day just from the vibes.
Yeah.
Like even the way the trailers are cut. I do wonder The Witch, the director for The Witch.
Yeah, Robert Eggers.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
his stuff, I think. Like I think the two of them, I think, are like the tentpoles now for horror.
I'm so excited for that Lighthouse movie.
Yeah. And yeah. Like I think both of them are doing very different things.
Yeah.
Whereas The Witch is like this family centric, and now the Lighthouse is two dudes.
Yeah.
And then with the Hereditary, it's like this family, and now it's like a summer mid-festival type of vibe.
But see, I'm more interested in those two filmmakers than any other horror movies that are being put out, because
But there's
like
nothing.
like scary stories to tell in the dark. Like whatever. I mean,
I-
PG, so it's like kind of.
I watched
interesting,
that. I
but-
was kind of disappointed. I like his previous stuff much more, like the Autopsy of Jane Doe and Troll Hunters. Those were fun.
I'm a little bit worried about this because of the fact that it's in pure daylight the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I'm worried that.
It's not gonna be scary.
No, I'm worried that it's gonna be not like jump scares, but I'm worried that it's gonna have some like visuals that are gonna haunt me for a really long time
In the day.
in the day, which is even worse in a way.
Because
So
you
I'm
can't
like,
escape.
I don't know. I'm sweating already. You know me in horror movies. I'm sweating
Oh.
already. So
Well, this is not It 2, so it's okay.
yeah, that's true.
But anyways,
those are the types of horror movies I want to watch though.
But you don't want to watch them.
Well, I want to watch it because I love the book so much.
Yeah.
Normally, I wouldn't go see this movie, but I'm just so interested in like the concept.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am.
In terms of acting, I know no one, so that's always great.
Florence
so
Pugh.
I have no expectations for acting. But from the trailers,
Florence Pugh's good,
I don't. Okay, great, cool.
and she'll be in the new Black Widow movie. So
Oh, she. Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
think she's
the main
playing like the
cast?
villain. Maybe?
No. I mean, like, she's the main girl in this movie.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, so that's always a plus. Yeah, so I look forward to some nice shots and nice scares. Just no loud jump scares. I got enough of that during Scary Stories, because that was just lame.
Just unsettling creepiness, which is what I prefer. we'll see how it goes.
That's it. This is the before, and this is after. Holy smokes. I think this is the most unsettling film that I've seen in recent memory.
It's up there for sure.
Yeah, like, wow. Props to Norseman for teaching me Norwegian. I think it's not the same word, is it? I think I would assume it's just maybe
It probably has some like common roots.
root. Yeah. So yeah. But anyways, you should go first because I will talk more about the Hereditary, and you can talk about what you feel.
Well, I mean, unsettling is really the best word to describe this film. It really is like, it's an experience. It's not scary. It's not.
No.
It's creepy. It's very atmospheric, which is my type of horror
it's
movie.
what you said. It's Hannibal. Like with Brian Fuller, Hannibal.
Yeah, Brian Fuller, Hannibal. The way that they made the victims' deaths sometimes like really beautiful, shot in a visually stunning way. There were tons of moments in this film. I mean, with the like, since it's all focused on nature, right, and the natural world being like incorporated into the life in the commune, and they incorporated that into their death rituals and all these things, and it is shot really beautifully. So when you come across what should be a really objectively awful, gory, violent shot, it's really not. And in a way, it's like it's almost creepier and more unsettling because of that. Because your expectation is for it to be really gross and disgusting, and you kind of step back and you go like, oh, that's shot really beautifully. And then you kind of step back from that and you go, oh, yeah, why am I evaluating it for its beauty? That's really disgusting. But
I feel like
it's just one of those things in the film.
Like he does that consistently. It's not just with the violence, like the shots in the beginning, the long shots, that awesome like inverted shot in the beginning of the car and going down the road with that shot. He made it longer than it needed to be. But I love how it unsettles you because it's so different.
But the longer that he keeps those shots that way, the more unsettling it is, right?
Yeah.
Think about how he stays with. Obviously, it's an easy comparison, but like in a totally different genre. But think about like Family Guy and how long they stay with their jokes sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It gets to the point where it's just like it's gone on so long, but it's still funny, and like it gets funnier because they're staying so long with it. It's the same thing with this.
The dead don't die.
Yes, like the dead don't die, exactly. They keep hitting on that thing, right? So with his shots, he just keeps going, and it unsettles you more and more and more and more, and it keeps making the world of the film, the narrative world, stranger and stranger and stranger. So, yeah. It's just like a series of separations between
You want to talk about that whole safety thing?
Well, I mean, it's a weird thing to say for a horror movie, but I felt pretty safe watching the movie. Like, and I think it is part of that separation for the viewer and then the characters in the film. And I just never felt like they were in danger, even though they were in danger. But it's just, and I think it has something to do with the way that it's shot in daylight and the way that, like you said, the darkness and nightfall in horror movies, usually you expect something to happen. Like you expect a character to go into a shadowy house and Pennywise to pop out, right? Or Michael Myers pops out with a knife, right?
Yeah.
And you don't get those moments in this film. Even when what's the guy from The Good Place's character's name? The thesis guy? Josh. Even when Josh goes into the temple and tries to steal that book, you got the shot with the mirror. You're totally expecting there to be somebody show up out of the shadows, out of the dark corner in the other end of the room, and pop it into the mirror, and you don't get that. And then something else happens that's like even more shocking. So,
And then when he's on the ground, that long
Yes.
take of just him
Twitching.
like
dying,
that
twitching.
that's more unsettling than what actually happened.
Yeah, and then the quick someone dragging him away, and again beautiful blood stain on the ground, right? Like it's like almost like a painter's brush. Like it's just I love what he did in the movie.
And
so I haven't seen Hereditary.
Okay, before I get to that, I think Aster, because he wrote and directed, I think beautifully shot and great directing and written well, because I think like everything's worked, because all the characters, when they do typical horror trope-ish things, it's stemming from the narrative build-up.
Yeah, it's all
like
been built into
Josh and Christian's like stupid like argument about the thesis is like you
By
get
the way,
it.
just love that they're arguing about a thesis. You don't often get that in movies,
That's
right?
true.
Right? That's like two PhD students arguing over who gets to do the thesis.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
And
But it's all built in.
Yeah, and then like Will Poulter's like Mark, who's just been like, I need to get laid the whole time, gets like laid.
Yeah. I thought he was going to be one of the first characters going.
Yeah.
He was kind of, but after a while.
Yeah, so I liked how in a narrative sense, like, they do those things, but you don't be like, oh, this is so stupid. Like, how Cabin in the Woods calls out those moments. Or even, like, I love in the narrative how the cult isn't that far-fetched. Like, in their narrative, in their mind logic, they explain everything. And it's like, the rules... This is the ritual. This is what we need to do. Don't be afraid. We're killing them because this is the life. And then, like, I definitely feel that, like, these people who buy into it will be like, that's logical. And then we're the audience who are witnessing the Americans and the English who are just like, what the frick? Like, this is messed up. So I really enjoyed how the cult isn't just a crazy cult and they don't bother explaining everything.
Yeah. And you have two characters, right? You have the main character, protagonist, and then her boyfriend, who are thrust into the world, and they're both maybe more open to understanding the things that are there, but her emergence as like a potential new member of the cult, of the commune, also makes it makes sense, given how the narrative's been built up and how her character's been built up from the very beginning of the film.
And I think with her character arc, it's like thematic in terms of dialogue, but also when you're talking about shots. In the beginning, like her reality was, stark and just sucks.
Yeah, drab, gray,
and then
snowy weather, dark, dark shots, and then you contrast that with she gets to the commune and it's like bright, happy, joyous, colorful. She's got flowers all over her, she's one with nature, all that kind of stuff. And she has a family, right? Family is the big thing in the film.
Yeah.
Loss of the family, gain a family, or gain a potential family.
Yeah. Funny thing, like this was like distributed by or produced by Elevation Pictures, and I was like, oh, that's okay. At least it's not it's A24.
It's A24. 3 straight films is A24 for me, anyways. And all 3 of them have been amazing.
Yeah. So in terms of Hereditary, I definitely see there are parallels. So I didn't expect the beginning to be the beginning, because when you see Hereditary, you know what I mean. But I do feel that this time it was much more progressive in terms of themes and just like the narrative of where it's going. Because I felt like with Hereditary, it's like something happens and then you have the movie, and then near the end there's a very like hard left, and you're just like, what the hell?
Right. And this one was
just much more straightforward, and it's just like and it's like trickled in as in like something's like weird about this place, but you don't know exactly what, and it gets weirder and weirder and weirder. I expected aliens actually at the end or something.
Of this one,
I don't know. Like something crazy, but it got me at the end. It was like, okay, I get it. It's just cults here.
So now that you've seen 2 films from Ari Aster, would you be comfortable saying that this is like the beginnings of an kind of an auteur filmmaker, you know, like really putting his significant stamp on the genre, kind of like a Wes Anderson does? Like, you know, this is an Ari Aster film.
Yeah, I would just definitely say so.
Him
but granted, I feel that his directing here is much, I would say, stronger because there's much more stuff happening than Hereditary. Because Hereditary, you got Toni Collette, you have the girl, you have that kid, and the dad, and that's basically all they're playing with.
Because the promotional campaign for this film, kept saying like from the visionary director of Hereditary. Yeah. So I was wondering because I hadn't seen Hereditary, if that label, now that you've seen 2 films from him, are you?
I would say Midsommar is much more impressive. Like, I think Hereditary will become one of those like shock horror cult stuff,
cult classic.
Whereas Midsommar is more of like, oh, this is vision. This is you learning. I feel like Hereditary is when he was learning of what he could do and what's possible.
And Midsommar is kind of like him applying what he learned. Yeah.
Because I think
I'm gonna have to go back and watch Hereditary now.
Yeah. I enjoyed Hereditary. I loved like the sound. Yeah, like this movie too. The sound. I think all like he has the vision for sure.
Yeah.
And I think now this one is more of a directing chops for acting, as in he knows how to get his actors to where they need to go. Versus in Hereditary, I didn't feel like there was much to be like, oh, that was a great acting thing. Like, granted, the guy from Good Place is just playing himself from The Good Place, so that's kind of cheating. So, so I definitely say like he has an eye for like, because there's invertedness in Hereditary too. You've seen the trailers. There's some of that in there too. So, but I feel like he went like, I'm gonna do this, but do it like my way. And not just like, I would definitely say it. Hereditary is when he's just learning and just like, oh, I can do this. Now let's just do it for real.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that because, again, like, just some of the camera work in this movie is the stuff that you kind of take for granted.
Yeah, you were saying about it. What you were saying? You
don't
shots?
You just don't see it very often. Like, even the inversion, yes, we've seen that before, but not done to that extent and not held for that long. You know? You know, the shot where you have a character closing the eyes of one of the main characters, right? And one half of the screen closes with the eye and the other half of the screen follows. Like, those shots seem logical to me as a viewer, but I don't see them that often. Even at I feel like filmmakers don't use those that often, and he's just so imaginative, I guess. Or
I would definitely,
maybe not imaginative, maybe just willing to use all the tools in the toolbox.
Yeah.
To make it more interesting. Even the transition. Think about the transitions from scene to scene.
Yeah.
You had
the sound transitions.
Yeah, and you had the zoom out the window.
Yeah.
Right. In the beginning, like an opening sequence in the apartment. Zoom out the window. It's snowy.
Yeah.
Move out of the trappings of the apartment. The frame narrows, and you move out.
And then he plays the
snow.
sound into it.
Yeah, the snow.
And then. Yeah, holy crap! Like,
but then the camera goes down to the street level, right? And the snow turns to rain, and then you have the credits, and then it's a quick transition to something else. I just, instead of doing like really just sharp transitions from one thing to the other, he used different elements to blend in. Like when she has that painful conversation with
Christian.
No, the Swedish guy.
I didn't get his name.
Can't remember his name.
He introduced everybody else.
Helen.
Yeah.
She has in the boy's apartment, right? In the guy's apartment.
Oh yeah.
And she goes to the bathroom, and then
that was a great one.
And then it flips to her in the airplane bathroom, right? And it propels the narrative forward. I was like, that's so useful.
I think I definitely would agree that like Wes Anderson, you would notice these things and you're gonna look for it for the next film.
Yeah,
I definitely will for this guy.
Like now, I would see it as an Ari Aster,
like those transitions,
like a trademark thing.
The camera. I think he used like the whole package in terms of like camera work, editing, and I would love to see who edited this too. But like
it was interesting too. I was thinking about like some of the overhead shots. Yeah, the way they were used to be kind of unsettling and creepy was the same as like Yorgos Lanthimos, like in Killing of a Sacred Deer or The Lobster. Like same kind of overhead shots where you're you're like the voyeur that's like looking down on the character, and you get the full scope of things. And it's just creepy. It's just creepy.
Or like in The Favorite, where it just like lingers at hip level and is like, why?
Yeah, because you can, man.
I know. It's
And you can unsettle the audience by doing these different things that they don't see usually, right? It's jarring. So yeah, great film.
Yeah.
I really like this movie.
Yeah.
This is. I don't even want to call it a horror movie because it's not.
I don't think so. It's just
more like a.
It's not even a thriller. It's just.
No, it's more just like a
slow burn. I would say it's a slow burn.
It's a surrealistic film.
Yeah.
It's like a trip into the surreal. Do not watch this movie high. I would honestly say don't watch this movie high.
Yeah, or just don't take drugs.
Yeah.
You know.
That's basically the message of the movie.
And music festivals, don't take drugs.
Yeah. At least not when you first get there. And you already, like...
No.
She drinks the mushroom tea and she already has the vision and runs into the forest and we're like, okay, this is going to be bad. Yeah. But, great work.
Yeah, I definitely love how they use the narrative. Yeah, like we were saying, that the cuts are always like the narrative, like forward momentum, like the drugs, the visions. So it's not like there's jump scare moments where, like, you know, when she goes to that washroom, like in the very beginning, and there's like someone behind. I don't even know who it was that.
It's just some random guy.
Yeah, and then and then you're like, oh,
green light.
But then you're just like, no, she's just high, and you just sort of like brush it aside.
Yeah.
But then the drugs keep coming back, and it's like a narrative that talks that is like that. Anyways, enjoyable. What an experience! Definitely watch it with people. I think you'll like it much more with people. And support it. I mean, we only thought, luckily, Scotiabank was still playing it. I thought it was being pulled soon. Yeah. Granted, it's been out for a month-ish, and it's not a very wide audience movie, but definitely worth your while.
A24, keep putting out these
keep
movies.
Keep going. Great. You're doing something great here. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. Keep liking, keep watching, and subscribe and share. Sharing is caring. And that's it for this before and after of Midsommar. Out.